This conference will now be recorded.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, sure. Oh Lord, as we gather this day to do the important business for the people of the village of Owego, friends, wisdom, compassion, and understanding.
Amen. All right, first order of business, public comment. Mike's coming closer.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
I think we all know we're in trouble. Nothing scary.
Okay. No public comment. Then the first thing we're gonna do after public comment is the liquor license reviews. You wanna tell us about the place? I'm excited to hear about it. The name is kind of cool.
The name is kind of cool.
Well, I'll talk about the name for 1 second. So where it is located, it is the second highest trafficked area in Owego County. And so we figured we needed a name that would make people want to stop, because it's not a necessarily easy place just to pull into. So we needed a name that would be intriguing enough to pull people in. So there you go.
This used to be Thompson's, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So hopefully all of you have noticed some of the changes going on currently. Over there, we've separated the house back so it's in its original state. And we're trying to make the whole area fit in a little more with the neighborhood that's there while dressing it up. And so at the end of the day, yes, we'll be serving donuts and beer, but it'll be quite a variety of other things. And there's about 5 different concepts in Julie's head, whether it becomes 2 of those 5 or 5 of those 5, still it remains to be determined. We will not be brewing beer as originally planned. And we have bought out our other partners very amicably, probably 2 months ago. And hopefully you've seen since those 2 months the dramatic changes that are going on over there. But very much, I'll think Ithaca Bakery, think General Store, think all of those things all thrown together in one, and away you go. And then design-wise, the triangle that's there, we're gonna bring down to a single level and courtyard outdoor space, as well as quite a bit of decking out on the west end, I guess that is, of the building.
So the name is Donuts and Beer.
Owego Donut and Beer Co. Yep.
No S.
Normally,
No S on donuts.
I get a form that you guys fill out for the state. Do you have a form here?
Form for the state.
For the liquor license, we're doing that now.
This one?
Could be, I don't have a copy.
You don't have this?
No, that's all that we have officially filled out. We have 30 days from
Okay.
the day that we submitted that to get the rest of the stuff done.
This form is from New York State Liquor Authority.
Yeah, I just don't get it. And that's all.
I have a quick question, not necessarily pertaining to the license. What's happened with the DRI now that you're not going to be a brewery?
That's continued on. We've are all set with DRI.
Even though you're not going to be a brewery, they haven't.
Correct. They
Yeah.
allowed us to change the scope.
Yep, so that'll be good. It'll be good to get that going. Looking forward to that, whole corner turning around.
That'll be a whole pile of less money. I'm just saying, a brewery is a ton of money, so.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Any other questions that you guys have, or more, you gals?
Excuse me.
I don't have any. I'm not a beer drinker, but I like donuts.
Did you say donut?
Mike, so obviously we don't issue a liquor license, so what is it that we do in this? We
I think
give
we
our
just-
approval that
Yeah, that we.
Local
support it,
approvals.
basically.
local approval is necessary in some degree, and then they decide about the license. Okay.
I would make a motion to, just what you said, and then we'll just have it on file. It basically says that they brought it to us and it's on file here.
Is that what we've done in the past, Rodney, do you remember?
Yeah, I think that's what we did with the last wine bar that popped up.
Basically, we say that we don't, we support it. Nate's turned on his camera, so he's bringing, tell us.
He gave us a
What
thumbs
we're
up.
supposed to do.
Okay,
Effectively, no action is fine. It's a notice. You objected to it, and you are objecting to it. It's perfectly acceptable to pass a motion saying that you're in favor of it.
do we need to pass a motion that we don't object to it, or we need to do nothing?
You can do nothing.
Either one.
So the only thing that would be if we had an objection, then we would take some action with an objection. Let's take no action.
I say we take action just because they're here and it's the nice thing to do.
That's what I said.
We'd love the support.
I move that we accept this as presented.
I second
With
that.
no objection.
No objections.
I'm looking forward to OCD
Second.
and community coming closer together. You got beer and where there's donuts.
You went there.
I still second that.
Charles.
Oh, did he? Okay.
All right. Shall we vote? Rusty,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
and yes. Very good.
All
All
right,
right,
thank
good
you
luck,
very
Jim.
much.
You are welcome. Good
Keep
luck.
us posted how it goes.
Keep watching the corner. You'll know as we know.
Can we get a rolling tab maybe? No?
We're gonna be open Mondays after 10.
Not after 10.
Oh, man.
Come on, we gotta open the kitchen in the morning.
We're always looking for somewhere to go after. All right, so we're still waiting for our friend to join. So we'll do department head reports.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I don't really have much. Things have been going rather smooth at the plant. Finally able to get caught up on some housekeeping and that sort of stuff now that we're full staff. And that's been nice. And that's about all I really have. I do have a motion as we get down to it. But other than that, that's all I have unless somebody has something for me.
We just do this now?
Sure. I'm just gonna recommend that we do it now so Tracy can go if he needs.
I think this gets big.
Wow, that's, wow.
Remove the name?
The company,
Yeah.
is it this one? Is it CR1?
Yeah.
This is it.
I move that we would award CR1 Contracting the roof repair for the garage roof at the amount of $9,800.
Second.
Here, any discussion on that? We're a little bit-
That is gonna come out of the
ARPA?
ARPA money.
Yes.
That is one thing that they didn't put in the motion, I see.
Paid by the way.
Does that have to be added for this to be accepted?
That's what I said. ARPA is funding this. Sorry, I don't enunciate well all the time.
That's okay.
I guess it's close.
All right, let's vote on that. Rusty,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
and yes. Shop. Is that the only motion we have to do?
Yes.
That's for Excel.
Anything else? Good. Anybody have anything for Tracy? Paul, what you got?
My report's short also. We had 150 calls. We responded to 16 calls for mutual aid. We received 8. 41 volunteers responded to calls last month. Becky Roden passed her AEMT class, and she received permission from the medical director to start precepting calls. Paige passed her New York State written basic, so she'll be riding along. And we have 2 providers back in service from various medical issues. 32 is currently out of service, needs a new radiator, should be back in service late tomorrow or Thursday. Otherwise, that's it.
Anybody have any comments for work call?
What's our estimate for the new radiator, Paul? Anything?
The estimate for the new radiator,
Yeah, just,
it was, the dollar amount we got was about $500. They have this radiator in stock at Napa, and I don't know if that included county labor or not.
thank you.
We like those kind of repairs.
It's not $1,000.
Right. Yeah. All right, Fred?
We have been flat out.
Yeah, I know.
Strawberry Festival, I think we did a great job of getting the parks and everything cleaned up. We've been doing a bunch of tree trimming around the gazebo, getting that ready for the contractor work. We got it pressure washed. We have been taking all the weeds down at the fairgrounds, cleaned a lot of that up. We had Jimmy Morris spray, so we're looking pretty good. And we've been fighting with the pool for the last few weeks now, and that finally came in good. That
Opened up today.
opened up today. So, yeah. That's all I have. And worked with the state for the new PRC numbers.
Oh, for the bids,
Excuse me?
for the bidding.
For the bidding, yes. Prevailing, what's it called? Prevailing rate certification, there you go, number. So any prevailing wage job now, we have to go through the state to get a number.
Basically says we have to publish what the prevailing wage is with the bid,
Yes.
Great.
so that whoever bids on it knows what they're bidding on, which makes sense.
And
It does.
Every
It
single
does.
job gets its own number now.
Yes.
So,
Just more of the
What's the
state.
prevailing rate?
Prevailing rate, what was it, did you say
I
that?
thought it was certification.
Certification,
That sounds about right.
something like
I
that.
think that's what it was.
It was something.
So Tracy and I sat in class for that. Learned a lot, yeah, I did, learned a lot.
That already makes sense.
And it even covers our butt for if the contractor cheats, lies, whatever you wanna call it. So it does help us a
As soon as
lot.
we have the number, we're covered.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
It is,
It's a good thing to know and figure out.
so.
Mhm.
So,
Anybody have anything for Fred? Heard the water's nice over there.
sure.
Couldn't get any
Had the guys in there
consistency.
cleaning, that's all I
I
know.
jump in now. I made my kid jump in.
Did you jump in?
Jumped or kind of nudged?
I know she jumped.
Mike walked by and said,
All right. We have anything from Joe?
We do not have anything from the police chief. I spoke to him today, and we do not have anything from the fire chief. I spoke to him today. Although, Mike, reminder, next meeting, the 18th, they want to do a swear-in ceremony. Rodney want to swear in the 2 new police officers with a little ceremony thing here at the beginning of the meeting.
Yep, so put
Take
that
a
on the
picture,
agenda.
right?
So we got our 2 full-time cops grant hires starting next meeting, the 18th. So we'll do a little ceremony to swear them in and get the pictures with them and have their families come. Be nice.
Should we have them jump in the pool?
We can have them jumping in. That could be interesting. We could do it at the pool. No, we'll do it. We'll keep them dry.
Should do beer and donuts.
Beer and donuts, that'd be nice. They're open. I don't think they'll be open. let's see, next thing, parking for open house being held at Wick.
Mr. Mayor,
Rusty,
I move that we allow the WIC to have the use of the potential art park area on August 2nd from 2 in the afternoon until the completion of their scheduled event. It says 2 to 3:30, but 2 till they're done. It's only going to be a couple hours.
Second.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you.
who said that?
I did.
Geez, I was doing it 5 years from now, you forget it.
Any other discussion about that?
Is there gonna be any issues with the construction materials that's already down there?
They're not going to have a bunch of cars.
All right, shall we vote? Rusty,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
and yes. Or maybe I should abstain, actually. All right. I'm on the Dialogue Opportunities Board. Just parking. So we got a parade permit from HOM, which is for Porch Fest. I don't, they're gonna put on without that, so maybe we should table that for next time.
Oh,
Sounds about right.
we're close.
Have the information.
I'm not entirely comfortable with the street closures after talking to residents. I mean,
Right.
and I think that's a little far reaching from their historic legal marketplace. So that's another concern that I have there.
And it's not really downtown.
Right.
I like the Porch Fest idea, I don't know about
Right.
street closures.
Well, I know originally when it was presented, there was no street closures, is what we were told.
Right. Which means they don't need any permits at all. actually.
Right.
Well, I'd be willing to entertain, allowing them to have the parade permit with no, specific street closures, for, the vendor, for like no street fair, but in support of the Porch Festival, and, that I would, I think it's like a wonderful idea, and I would encourage them to reach out to all like the community service organizations that are right there in the territory, so the Elks Club and the Legion and the VFW, and even the churches, because they all have like seating areas, food kitchens, and that they can provide a lot of seating or food areas or even porches. And they wanted that in on the community spirit of all that and the sales. And then also it helps to push people back downtown and to where HOM wants them for sales and enjoying the downtown. And it keeps everybody in a containable, walkable area. And so if we approve that tonight and then had them come back if they wanted to do street closures, I think that would.
But without the street closures, what are we approving? Because that's all this permit is asking.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't think they need our permission, do they?
I don't,
Maybe. So Mike? When's my turn?
go ahead.
Since we don't have at this time an event permit, every event, we do it on a parade permit, whether it's going to have a parade or not. That's what we constantly do. I would, it's going to be hard. I'm going to make some type of motion here, but I'm talking about it before I make it, that we approve, give our approval to the Historic Marketplace having a Porch Fest in the Village of Owego, but we do not have any street closures. So whether it's called a parade permit or not,
Sounds like a good motion to me.
something like that.
Laura must be.
She did not make a motion. Okay. She would know, ask her.
Exactly what you should.
more or less.
I think that sounds really good.
So the motion is that we give approval to the Historic Owego Marketplace to have a Porch Fest. We should probably, I've stopped the motion, we'll go back to it. We should probably,
August 6th.
yep, we're gonna know when we're gonna have it, although we don't know how much, what the time exactly is gonna be. And we don't know exactly where they wanna have it.
This just says set up 10 a.m. So
I assume that was for a street closure. I mean, I know various people have donated their porches, I'm assuming throughout the downtown area. I've yet to see a list of those. I don't think we need to be privy to it necessarily.
Julie might know.
They wanted to close Page Street because they wanted to put the food trucks on there because they wanted people to stay by the music and to be able to eat while they listen to the music and not have to leave the music.
Yeah,
So they wanted to close Page.
Yeah, we've decided not to do that.
Yeah, they wanted to close Page and
But
Ross.
what we're talking about now is just where the Porch Fest, just in case we just don't want to leave something wide open, where the Porch Fest is generally going to be. Is it going to be Main Street? Because they didn't really tell us any of that. Main Street and Front Street and,
I
Yeah.
assume so. Downtown, I don't know.
Main front.
okay, so the motion is that we,
Do they have other porches on other streets? I don't know.
I don't know, other areas that I looked into, they have residents kind of donating their properties, I guess, like Binghamton does that. I think it closes down a good portion of theirs, but Binghamton allows neighborhoods to have food vendors on their private property rather than in the street,
Okay.
but they still have to hold to the permits and things of that sort.
so that wouldn't be in our purview.
Right.
That's more a health department.
So
Do you know anything
the,
about
so
I just know that they walked down Main Street, and so I got a form that said like, would you like to use your porch?
Okay.
So they definitely canvassed an area,
we're guessing Main and Front.
yeah.
That's what
And we also don't necessarily know if they're talking about going to the other end of Front Street, past the downtown, I don't know.
Or East Main over in Turtletown.
This is where-
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that we give our approval for the Historic Owego Marketplace to have a Porch Fest on the sidewalks and street of the Village of Owego on August 6, 2022. With the understanding that they will come to us with some further details.
Well, should we make a contingent on the, what do we call it?
I don't know,
Incident action plan being developed? So that pretty much says what's going on where.
that would be the thing I was saying about the details, and we can make it specific to that.
I know we've done that for the last couple, put that term in there. They have to work with the police department to come up with a plan.
And the last piece in this motion is no street closures. Did you kind of get that right? Somebody second.
I did. Did you want the part about encouraging the VFW Legion?
No.
And why that's?
No, that's not in the motion. That's something else.
That's something. they
No,
can do.
no, that's not in my motion. That was just her ideas.
That's something they can do.
We need a second to my motion before we do all this talking.
She just, she had.
If they sit on food trucks and stuff, they can always kind of.
Those are suggestions for things that we think that would be a good idea.
They all got nice big parking lots. Do we have a second to that motion? No, we already had it. Any discussion on it? Okay, we'll vote. Rusty,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes,
Charles,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
and yes. So we got the payment of bills. Everybody look at it?
see a lot of people getting their clothing allowance this time around.
Yeah. We just gotta get the retro checks out. the PDA.
I mean, I didn't catch anything that looked off,
Yeah, I don't either.
other than not wanting to pay all those amounts, but
A motion for the payment of bills.
A second.
Okay. Rusty,
Regular Mike, you looked at them and you're happy with them. I vote yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
and yes. I had the sheet I can sign. Yeah, I think it's in the file. Did she give me the right copy though? The signature? She did. Yesterday was Charles' birthday.
Is your birthday, Charles? Happy?
Yep, 59,
Is your birthday?
yesterday, born on the 4th of July.
It's like Tom
You think all the
Cruise.
fireworks were?
They should make a movie with that name.
They should. That's why they set off fireworks. All right, the town set off fireworks for mine.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got fireworks, I got fireworks.
Like, a side thing, when my wife dies, she wants me to put up fireworks, so just something to look forward to.
Just a sprinkle over the village.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that idea, Rod.
All right, so
No, that's just one of her ideas.
it's different, yeah.
I said, we'll do it. It's already set up.
Perfect.
You're just missing one component.
Some people are always late.
Got all plans made already. All right, we got minutes, we got 2 minutes. What's our minutes, lady?
Let me get back to the dates real quick. Just hold off my screen. Okay, so, I motion to approve the minutes of the June 21st meeting as presented.
You have a second to that?
No second, that.
Sure.
I can't either. I wasn't here.
All right, any discussion on those, June 21st
Uh-oh.
minutes?
Ron wasn't here and will not feel comfortable approving them, and I did not get any minutes. They weren't in my box.
Fran comes?
I'm sure they've been in your box, you've already taken them.
That email. Oh,
Okay.
The brain, temporary brain.
It wasn't my class today, but I read them. So. Do you want to hold off until there's more people?
Charles, have you had it?
I get email.
Yeah, let's do it next time.
Okay, and then
That's fine.
what about the budget meeting?
So then we have the 27th,
Same.
which is just a budget meeting.
You were there for that, and would you want to do those or wait?
I haven't seen the minutes.
Okay, let's wait on the minutes.
All right, we'll push those both off till next time. Do we know if, I know she was running late.
Jamie Burchard she's trying to join on.
Desperately trying to
And
join.
the phone number maybe isn't working for the go-to meeting that's on the agenda.
It says lockdown malicious behavior prevented in go-to. It won't let her in. She got in last time. But,
Yeah, nothing was different this time.
yeah, she's been trying for the last half hour. And it told her the phone number's is no longer valid. It's like maybe go-to meeting is just freaking out right now. Could I just put her on speaker?
Yeah, that works. Because we have her PowerPoint.
So are you ready for her now?
Sure.
Okay, I'll just call her. Sorry.
What we're doing is calling Jamie Burchard. And she's working with us to help write a grant submission for the Climate Smart Communities
So Laura's introducing.
grant that we're working on. So the main purpose of this, the focus is the CRS entry. And we're looking at finding $40,000 each year for the next 5 years for this program, and we'll be met with a 50% match. And we'll be helping to create a job here and working towards our future. So Jamie.
Can you hear us?
Phone, Jamie, you there?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. I apologize. I'm not sure why I can't seem to get on via phone or my laptop, but I'm hearing through Julie's phone, so we made it work.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose we can begin with kind of rehashing a little bit what we discussed back when I presented on June the 6th, I believe. It was to pursue a grant application to the Climate Smart Communities Program, to pursue exploring the certification in the CRS program for the village. And essentially it's a 5-year program looking for a 50-50 match by the municipality, which can be in kind through municipal staff and volunteer hours. And we would be putting the grant together on behalf of the village. I believe during your last meeting, it was agreed upon $500 to do that, which is a bargain. No one else is getting that offer right now, so think of it as a really good deal, an investment in your municipality to pursue flood resiliency and certification in the Climate Smart Community Program and pursuing other activity areas. And I think what we need to go to this evening is to the two requirements to continue forward would be to pass a resolution that the municipality would support the in-kind contribution. I'm not sure if you're looking at a presentation that I put together for you.
Yes.
Outline the budget.
Yeah, so we all have that presentation.
Okay, great. So the way we are proposing it is that it's a 5-year program. Essentially, the max ask for the program is $200,000. So it comes out to about $40,000 per year over that 5-year period. And the way we are proposing the pilot is essentially to kind of, through attrition, the program would start off in year 1 with, Barton and Lejudas, the consulting firm, receiving the cash to support the village in setting up the program in year 5 or year 1. And then slowly every year kind of giving that cash match back to you to invest in essentially supporting your capacity, your resources to eventually bring on a full-time person to support that program. So that's kind of how we currently have it set up, but we are certainly open to other options if that's something that would be more beneficial to the village.
So I guess my only question is, would we be tied to bringing on a full-time person then?
Well, I think the way we would like to propose is that again, we have 5 years to kind of figure this out. That's the end game, is to essentially kind of create maybe a position, and again, slowly build the funding capacity and the resources for the village to bring on a full-time person, or at least maybe support that through other positions at the village. And in that 5 years, it gives us time to kind of explore other options with regards to kind of maybe finding a more sustainable funding program for the position, or other grant programs or projects. But we kind of have that, to kind of take out that maximum time period for the grant to explore what that essentially would look like for the community.
Yeah, I guess that's my concern, is year 6 through whatever.
How do we come up with
Right.
$100,000 per person?
Right, and the logic is that you have 5 years to work on that. And so if that person were the CRS coordinator, the Climate Smart Communities coordinator, if that would be a perfect person to be a CFM, because we have no certified floodplain manager. We desperately should have a certified floodplain manager. So you could consolidate that, whether that's a half of a position that is funded somehow, and another half, like if they're CFM and they work for DPW, maybe that's half, and then saying, okay, the other half of this role would be, you're gonna run climate smart communities, you're gonna manage CRS, and you're gonna be like the grants person, then you have 5 years to find that other half. But that would be an awesome person to consolidate those functions in the village board. And the thought is it gives us like a really long on-ramp to make that happen. That's the logic anyway. Comments?
You know, it doesn't preclude the village from pursuing other partnerships either. You know, maybe it's a shared service agreement with another municipality, maybe it's a joint position. You know, we really don't know, but what's nice about this program is that we've got 5 years, and after that 5-year period, you know, it's not like the state is gonna come back and say, you know, you said that you were gonna do this, you're on the hook for it. You know, that's why it's a pilot study, is to kind of see if this can happen. I think a lot of municipalities across New York State are struggling with the CRS program, and because of this very reason. So I think if you give yourself time to kind of explore the option and interest in kind of show New York State that we're working on an idea for pursuing this, there might be other things that come out of the pilot, right? We're calling it a pilot study. And I think that is the way it should be kind of proposed, is that you're open to trying it out. And I think that's really how we should propose it to the state.
Okay, because we had different grants, like for police officers, that fund a police officer for 3 years, and then if we don't keep them the 4th year, we gotta pay back all the money. So this
Right,
isn't quite that kind of deal.
But I think that's why we need to kind of, when we set up the grant program, it's great that you are pursuing, you adopt the Climate Smart Communities Pledge. You know, we can kind of, in this time period, explore what other things that you're doing for the Climate Smart Communities program through your Climate Smart Task Force. You know, kind of create this committee of volunteers, and you're doing other things in concert with the CRS program. So at the end of the 5 years, you know, maybe we will have an option for a full-time position or a part-time position or something. We don't really know, but you're open to trying it. But at least we can say at the end of the 5 years, you will have gathered activities for submission to the Climate Smart Communities program for points. And I think that would be satisfactory to the state.
Okay.
So, Mike, I'm not understanding the budget exactly. I don't know how everybody else is doing with that. Year one, I don't know if you can hear me, Jamie, but I'll try to make it loud enough. Year one, there's 40,000 from the grant and 40,000 in-kind match from us. What is Barton, what's B&L get to, and what do they do in that first year?
So that first year would essentially pay for technical assistance. So we would basically kind of go through and organize all of the activities that you've done to date and put them in some type of like a format for the Climate Smart Communities program in concert with the CRS program. So we're kind of doing our due diligence, going through, doing documentation, organizing materials, maybe we're doing some mapping. We're trying to figure out ways to, again, pull together the items that you've done so far for the Climate Smart Communities program, but then also in keeping with the CRS program, which is a whole separate program, right? But we're doing it in the same kind of lane as the Climate Smart Communities program. So we would be doing all that kind of work and setting the village up with whatever kind of documentation or process, Excel spreadsheets, crosswalks, those kinds of materials. And we're that technical assistance provider. And then in year 2,
No, can you wait for a second? Can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
Yeah, so, but what, will we be paying your firm $80,000, the 40 from us and the 40 from the state in that first year for that?
No, so you would get the cash. So basically it's a reimbursement program from New York State. So you would have to kind of administer it. We can help you with that, but you would basically put your invoices in to New York State, and then they would reimburse you. They'd give you the cash for it. And then you would in turn take that cash, and pay Barton and Judas.
Yeah, but we're gonna get 40,000 cash from them, and then we have to match it with 40 of our own. So are we gonna pay you $40,000? We're gonna pay you 60, 80? How's that all work?
Nope, you're paying us 40 from New York State, which you will show with the work that's being done. You're matching the 40 with your in-kind contribution. So your in-kind contribution would be your staff hours or perhaps volunteers that are serving on this Climate Smart Task Force. You just would have to document the in-kind. So you're not paying us 40. You know, in year one, the total amount is $80,000, 40,000 of which is in kind that you will document. The other 40,000 you will be receiving from New York State, which you will in turn pass it off to Barton and Judas.
So your fee will be basically the 40,000 we get from the state. If we don't come up, and we talked the other day about various ways that we can come up with in-kind match, but if we can't come up with $40,000, if we can come up with $10,000 of in-kind match, now how are we working that with the state?
Well, that is part of the reason why you would have to pass the resolution in concert with the Climate Smart Communities Grant Program, is saying that you are going to come up with that. That's why there's the resolution part of it. So I think, part of what I'm thinking we should do is maybe I could come down for a day and meet with, schedule a time to meet with the village and kind of go through your staff and existing resources and see, if we can come up with that and document that 40,000.
Right, because they need to, a lot of what they would be doing in year one is working with people in the village, to train them to say, this is what has to be done. So all the staff time of the people they work with, that goes to the in-kind. And then if we have the task force, that's in-kind. If we need legal support, like Nate said, his firm may be able to provide in-kind support at a professional rate. I had like $1,400 of in-kind from a consultant who I work with, who offered that. So, it's a matter of getting a group of people together and sitting and looking at the numbers and saying, these are all the things that we have, these are the activities we see, and making sure that it works. Like, that's the due diligence that we have to do to submit.
That's great for years 4 through 5, but what about the first year? How do we get those hours to say that we can even commit to this? Right now, it's speculation on these in-kind hours, if I'm not mistaken.
And they just said they'd come down and figure out how to divvy it
Right,
up.
if they're gonna come down, then I don't know how we can actually action today.
So,
Well, it doesn't sound like you're prepared to. That's why I offered to come down and kind of sit down with, meet with people and kind of write this out if you're having some concern about it. This other grant program, a couple of years ago, I wrote this same grant for Monroe County, and they were able to actually kind of use other different types of in-kind contribution in addition to their staff and volunteer hours. So, if you're concerned about not having enough for your staff and volunteers, maybe, we can kind of look around and see what else the village has that we could use.
Right, that would be much appreciated, at least from my concern, because if we can't come up with, say, $10,000, we have to figure out where to get that from.
exactly. And we
Yeah, I
asked the
understand.
county, we still haven't heard from the county about the GIS mapping services, right?
Correct,
So
right.
we're waiting on them. So, we've got to poke that bear, but, it's gonna take a little bit of time and effort to go through all the numbers.
And that was the Jeremy, I can't remember his last name.
Yeah, you love,
Loveland or something of the sort.
but you emailed him a couple times,
Right.
right? So maybe the next step is just call.
So you can have like an example of other places that have done this, that we can have like a template so we can see how they had managed to do it. So we give us an
absolutely.
idea.
Yeah, we're working with a few clients right now that are putting together climate smart community applications, and I can pull a few of their budget spreadsheets so we can kind of look at their in-kind and how they're coming up with it. That'd be fine.
So the other thing is, like, Mick is not a certified floodplain manager. If Mick gets his CFM, I would think that can all go in as in-kind, because that's 100% in support of this, because like, that's like super relevant training. So do you know, is that on DPW's radar, that he gets the CFM?
I think it is.
So,
I mean,
like,
we need one. So.
We absolutely need one. So that would be, I would think, a good way to get a chunk of the in-kind is a look at the equivalent labor of, the workshops and the training and everything that Mick would have to do to become a CFM.
But you're still getting my question. If we can't come up with that much in kind, or
do we end up paying somebody?
if we can't come up with in kind, or we can't come even close to it, what happens? How do we do that $40,000 match? It's a question we had before, and it's a question we still have.
So you either put cash towards it, or you say, I'm not gonna submit it. I mean, you have to show a $40,000 match in cash or in kind. That's if we're gonna ask for $40,000, you must match it. So you can either decide to ask for less, you could decide to put some cash in. But you have to say that you have to commit to match what you're asking for.
Right,
So those are
that's
the
why,
only options.
that's why the state requires that resolution, that you're showing in good faith that you feel confident that you could submit the application. Now, Julie brings up a good point. If you don't feel confident on 40, well, maybe we just restructure the budget and we ask for 20, and then you can match it with 20.
So that's why we use the consultant to see if it can be done. We map the whole thing out to see if it can be done. So that you just don't throw a number out there that we can't commit to, or we commit to and can't pay.
Right, so Jamie is that consultant, and so that's why she's offering to come next week or the week after to help work that through, to make sure that it works, which is tremendous service because she hasn't submitted the application yet, right? So we're getting like amazing service here.
So I guess when do we need that number nailed down by? Because there's a resolution we have to pass, right, Jamie?
As
Correct,
application
yes,
resolution.
yes. So then I guess we have to kind of work backwards and see when's your next village board meeting before the due date for this application.
So our next normal meeting is the 18th. I don't know if that works or not. Now, obviously, we can have a special meeting anytime with a couple of days' notice,
Because we meet every Monday.
because we like to come here every day of the week anyway. But we can, and I guess is the point, but I don't know when it has to be in.
The 29th is the proposal due date.
So I guess would the 18th work to do that resolution?
So basically, we would have to kind of work on this the rest of this week and next week to kind of get, figure out what that looks like, so that you would feel comfortable to pass the resolution on the 18th.
Right. Rusty?
If Jamie's still thinking about, she mentioned coming down here to work with us and this and that, but we absolutely don't want her to come down on the 18th for many reasons. It's the last minute, and it's also the DRA meetings all day long. That would be not a good day for us.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so if you want to come down and work with everybody, it would probably be a day not the 18th, before then, because that is a busy, usually our second board meeting of the month is the DRI committees before the meeting.
Okay.
That start at like 3 and go until 7, so. Maybe we plan a day next week or even that week, but, well, I guess it's the Monday of the week, isn't it? So that would be this week or next week.
That's the 11th, and it's 18th, and after that's the 25th. Mondays.
When are you available, Jamie?
Let's see here. So we're looking at next week, correct?
Probably, yeah, unless we have a special meeting on this topic, which we could do.
But she was talking about meeting with a whole bunch of other people, not just the board, right?
Right.
Yeah, but staff and things like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I could come down and meet with, lots of, staff members to get an idea of what everyone's capacity is and, skill set and comfort level in doing different, aspects of the program.
That'd be a good idea.
And I'm out of town all week next week, FYI.
Let's see.
Appreciate everything you're doing, having you here would be valuable.
I could Zoom in, depending on the day.
If she didn't come next week, if she came earlier, would you be around for that? Because you're working.
If she came this week,
Yeah, this week.
I asked her. if
So
she
it looks
could.
like July 12th work.
Okay.
Julie was just saying she's away next week, so she can't be here to assist next week.
Right, yeah.
I'm here though.
Laura
Thoroughly.
will carry the torch.
So the 12th works for you, Jamie.
What day of the week is that?
Tuesday.
I could Zoom
It's a
into a
Tuesday.
meeting, depending on the time, I could Zoom in. My Tuesdays are usually pretty open.
And I'm sure it's fine.
Does that work for you, Laura?
I'm busy in the early morning and then I'll be okay for the rest of the day.
Good.
I know how much you
Honestly, I know nothing about this stuff. As much as I'd like to understand.
So are we're kind of getting to a place on that?
I think so. So can you come down Tuesday, Julie?
Yes, I can be there on Tuesday the 12th.
Okay.
Ron wanted to talk about something here.
The
want
sexual harassment certificate form, I know we have
Yeah, I asked Nate about this already.
We have a policy.
I know we have a policy, I don't know as though we're current, I guess is the best way to put it.
Nate can probably explain it, because I think it was just us attesting that we have a policy.
Yeah, the form that they're asking you to sign is basically a certification that you have a policy in place.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Did you hear that, Jamie? We already have a sexual harassment policy and we can certainly sign it. I can't speak for the mayor, sign a form that says that we do.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, there's no
that's
issue with that.
part of, what we could do is I can put together a checklist of things that, in addition to talking about the budget, things that we would need for the grant application. I actually went into the CFA portal, today to kind of look through and see what things we might need. So I can put together a checklist, and so on Tuesday, like I said, as we run through the numbers, I can kind of go through other things that we would need for the application as a separate PDF to upload into the portal. I don't know if the village have you used Grants Gateway for anything?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that was one of the questions too. So, yeah, we can kind of go through all that on the 12th. And again, if you want to set up a whole day of meetings to meet with folks, I'm happy to do that.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. I guess my only question is, do we want to get together? How late do you plan on staying here Tuesday, Julie?
I could come down for the day. I have to be in Chautauqua County on Wednesday, so
Okay.
I'm going all over New York State this week, or next week rather.
I just don't know if we want to get together to go over the results, I guess, before the 18th.
If we're gonna do it with her, we'd have to probably do it then.
Right. Just, if we're gonna do it, then we gotta advertise it, if we're gonna have more than 4 of us.
Let's advertise it and we certainly don't have to do it if we.
True. And we can do it at whatever time. What time do you think, Julie, like 5
Jamie,
o'clock?
I'm Julie, she's Jamie.
Between days.
It's Julie's phone.
Yeah, it's Julie's phone, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
We could say, I don't know, what time's good, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
She's gotta drive 3 hours, right? She's going to Chautauqua.
I can't commit to that time.
Yeah, you got the shop going.
4, would 4 o'clock work, Jamie?
And then obviously whoever can make it, If you can't, no big deal.
What happens if we advertise a meeting and we started later. We advertise it for 4, but we don't get it rolling good till 5. How's that all
That's
work?
a neat question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen, but you just have to be
Yeah.
sitting in the room and.
Right, actually, somebody has to be here, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that happen with their technology, holding those up for 45 minutes.
That's true.
We advertise it for 4, but we don't have a quorum yet, so we just kind of hold off till we get the quorum or something like that.
That's true.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be real tricky, but a little tricky.
No, Russell, you're correct. You just wait until the quorum is available and present, and then the meeting starts.
So we
It would just be a workshop, we wouldn't really like pass a resolution then, so.
Well, what if, we sort of informally during the day, Jamie and I can visit people, as we have time, and meet everybody, and then we can sort of schedule a quick meeting at the end of the day to get it all together, so that we sum it up.
Right.
And have something to look at, so that we can get an idea of what we need for the 18th.
But we're gonna have to put something in the paper that says we're having a meeting at some point.
So it'd be, yeah.
Let's pick a time early and
A workshop.
Why don't you have like a luncheon meeting, lunch, everybody has to have lunch, meet here for lunch. I'll get some pizzas, whatever you guys want. You could have a luncheon meeting.
the meeting is about the public. We're doing this so the public can be informed and come.
Slow to bring the public.
There's always swamping in here.
They're not coming.
They hear free
They're not
pizza,
coming.
they'll
These are probably the only
Mike's
two that would be there.
Whenever you guys want them, right? Advertise whatever time you think.
2 or 3 in the afternoon, something like that.
That's fine.
Some medium time that.
Jamie, do you have a preference? Knowing what time you wanna hit the road, like what's like the latest you would wanna leave Owego?
On the 12th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's about an hour and a half?
no,
Drive?
Chautauqua's like
Chautauqua?
3.
Yeah.
Chautauqua's far.
Well, if I have to be in Chautauqua County, on the 13th at 10:30 is my first meeting, so I can come down and spend the day on the 12th, if I can just get back on the road by, 4 or 5 o'clock.
She went back home now.
So let's say we'll do the wrap-up meeting at like 3. And that should get you out of here by 4.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we need a motion to have a meeting?
Yeah, to set up that workshop.
Right, I'll motion to set up a workshop meeting Tuesday, July 12th, 3 PM here, 22 Elm Street, for the purposes of CRS application
Whatever the thing's called,
topic.
Climate Smart Communities Grant Application.
Oh, yeah. CSC, I
Yeah.
meant to say.
Climate Smart Communities.
I'll second that.
All right. We'll vote on that quick, Rusty.
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
and a yes. So that just covers our butt in case.
Yep.
4 of us show up, which may or may not happen.
So then can you set up a Zoom for that, or a
Yeah,
go-to
we can
meetings?
turn the same thing on.
Yeah, so that I could join.
So it'll be the same login as our usual. I'll just-
Probably have to test that to make sure it works since
Yeah, I guess we're tested.
she was having trouble.
Nate's Nate, did you have any trouble getting in?
No.
Well, we'll test it with a couple of different people. Usually my wife joins, but she's at a birthday party.
See
more, Jamie?
Thanks, Jamie.
Okay, well, great.
I got you.
Laura, then I'll coordinate
Got
with
your
you
name
on
right.
kind of the schedule for the 12th.
All right, awesome, yeah.
That sounds great.
All right, I'll talk to you over email, I guess, to figure it out.
That sounds good. Very good. Well, thank you everyone for your time. I look forward to meeting everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye now. Bye now.
Turn down your volume.
I got
Oh,
it.
you're on. All right. Okay, so anyway, got that squared away. That's one of our last things, trustee reports. Rusty?
No report.
Rob? No report? Charles?
I don't have anything to add to what Fred already said. He has enough straws on his camel.
That's for sure.
I'm just happy to be back, literally on my feet and amongst you guys. It's been a long time.
Getting around good?
Getting around faster every day. Build me stronger, faster.
Laura?
I wanted to, reschedule the, public hearing for the open meetings law.
Oh, yeah.
So if we could, I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for the open meetings law for changes to the video conferencing procedure for July 18th at 7 PM.
We don't really have a public hearing, but.
Second that, I guess.
Okay. Any discussion about that?
Brad, you already put that, have you already sent it to the,
It's already.
Yeah.
it's in the paper, but we haven't done it officially, so good enough.
Okay,
So Rusty?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Laura?
yes.
And yes. Now we'll go fishing.
Now we'll see if anything changes between now and then.
Probably not.
And then, the next thing, OHPC, they didn't have any applications or any pending business, for a meeting, so they want to cancel it and then just have the next meeting be scheduled for August 4th at 7 PM here.
Tell them to remind me, because I have the key.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to send them a
What time is the meeting?
note. 7 PM. And it was August 4th. They have it on Thursdays.
Yes, usually the first Thursday.
There's no meetings scheduled so far for, planning or zoning boards. And that's it for me.
And if so, if they can have it here, if they want to use the online thing, they can. They just have to let me know, because right now I'll log into the computer. Eventually we'll figure out how to get them to log in through the county.
Okay.
And we have keys for them. So
Okay.
when they have their first meeting here, we'll give them their key.
Okay.
And I'll show them how to work the door.
Okay, maybe we can show, the chair and then.
Yep.
have them-
That's the idea.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have one of these, right?
Yeah, I do. I brought it with me just in case.
Always let them in case I'm not here.
And in the conference room, we're gonna have a couple cabinets for all their stuff,
The nameplates and stuff.
nameplates and, lamp books and stuff. I have to bring those stuff.
Okay, so they'll be able to know where their
Yep.
section is.
That's gonna be
Okay.
right there. They can, I'll put it there, they can work it.
Okay.
Eventually they'll be able to log in the computer, but we gotta work with the county to get whoever to sign in.
Access codes and passwords for each. Cool.
Communications. Don't get you anything. Mayor's report, busy couple of weeks, we passed the budget for the last meeting, so it's a good deal, under 2%. Opened the pool today, bunch of kids over there, jumped, splashed in. I assume there'll be a lot of kids over there when it's nicer weather.
It's like every other day.
Yeah, I know, tomorrow probably be nice to walk in there. That's all I got. Public comment.
I have nothing.
We have nothing.
Shocking, isn't it?
Look at that, good meeting.
Julie, you good?
I'm good.
So
To adjourn. Bye,
See
Dave.
you later, Nate.